trying to get them to lure. Again, we want them to want that food, so trying to get them to lure a little bit so she can start learning how to move her body into different positions. And then put the leash on her a little bit. And if she's okay with that, light tension on it. Teach her how to move with the tension, not against it. So all we do, again, let's just say my hand was her head. We put the leash on her head. Keep the leash about shoulder level. Light tension, so I'd be lightly pulling this way. And as soon as she goes with it, then she gets rewarded. Or if I put light tension and she's not moving, I can lure with my hand the same way that the leash is going to teach her how to move with that leash, and that's what helps her feel more comfortable. All right, so we got Pink here. We got some of her food right over here too, some of the food she's already used to eating. So all we're gonna do here is just see if she's okay with, if she's gonna investigate real quick. Once she's done investigating, we'll see if she's okay with taking some food out of my hand here. And if she's not into it, we'll just give her a second. Oh, she might. Nope, she's gonna lay down.
They literally just ate.
Yeah. Oh, they just ate, okay. So she's sniffing a little bit. She's munching. If I give it to her, she's munching a little bit. She drops it. All right. So we just give her a second here. Come here, Pink. Come here. And just based on with her alone over here, she's wanting to get closer to the corner over there with her litter mates where she's most comfortable. She's taking a little bit of food here. So if I got some food right here, notice how she backs up, then she comes right up. She's starting to take it a little bit. And at this point, all I want to do is just get her used to the concept of just following a hand with food in it. So right here, following, then she can have it. Nothing really complicated needs to happen or anything. Just the basic concept of following a hand with food. And this would just be the very basic layer of luring. And we're going to use luring to help teach her behaviors as she gets older. Just takes her a second to chew it up here. We got some other people that are wanting to interact. They're chomping at the bit here. Okay, and the puppies did just eat, so if they were a little bit hungrier, they might be luring a little bit more. Because one thing I'll look at, she's fine following my hand a little bit, but one thing I'll also look at is if I start lifting my hand up, how much is she willing to follow that hand, right? She's disengaging a little bit. No big deal there. And so if I want to get her used to a leash, I would recommend a slip lead like we have here. We've got two different slip leads. This one is a little bit heavier. This one's a little bit lighter. So what we can do is we'll start off with a light slip lead. We'll just go ahead and set this up like so. And then just the basic concept here. Ideally, we would let her start eating out of our hand, and then we would just gently slip it over her head, okay? If she's chomping at the bit to get to the food, then we don't necessarily need to take that step. But if she's a little bit more hesitant on taking the food, then we would add a little step in there, just like so. We'll put it on her. And I'm assuming this is the first time she'll have a leash on her. So she has no idea what a leash feels like. She has no idea what restraint feels like at all. So ideally, we put it on her. We just let her get used to a little bit of pressure on her neck, right? So we got a little bit of pressure right here. We can reward her a little bit if she'll take food. She's chewing still. But basically, we just want to sequence putting a leash on her and then give her a little bit of food for, you know, having the leash on her, having a new thing on her, having some pressure. So if I were to grab the leash right here and gently pull it towards me, see how she resists right there? She's resisting. She doesn't really know what to do. Okay, she flops over, and then we just let her have a little piece of food. So just like we did when she was very young, just adding a little bit of stress to her, okay? Now, obviously, she doesn't know how to follow a leash or anything like that. So all I want to do is just give her a little bit of tension and then ideally reward her right after that. So I gave her a little bit of tension. She came into the tension to come get the food that I had put on the ground for her. So there is a little bit of tension right now, just pulling towards me. And if she can work through this and walk towards the food, that'll be a step in the right direction here. If she's fighting the leash a little bit, right, that's okay too. Come on, Pink. Come on. Good. So she wasn't able to work through the pressure on her, but, you know, she wasn't freaking out or anything like that. So we put it on her for a little bit, do a little bit of pressure, have her come get some rewards, take it off a little bit, right? So you could do step by step with her. So who's the next one? But if I have the slip lead right here, same thing we did with blue and yellow and pink right here. Let him have some food. See how whenever I go to slip, can you see that? Yeah. See how whenever I go to slip that over his head, gets a little bit nervous about it, but no big deal. He was starting to go for the food. I put that over his head. He got a little bit nervous and spit out the food. So in this case, no leash tension on him. Just getting him used to putting something over his head, taking it off. Now he's eating it, right? So he's working through that very quickly. Still not sure about this thing around him. Good boy. Okay, then we just take this off. Boom, just like that. And proceed from there. So repetitions for him, if you were doing this, you might be able to put it on no problem. But me, somebody new, you know, if I go to put this on, he gets a little bit weirded out by it. At least the first time he did, right? Wouldn't take the food immediately. And now he's getting more comfortable with it already. No problem taking the food. So all good things, right? If there is something that I'm not sure about, I can still operate, I can still work through it, you know? He's not sure about that leash. But for him specifically, I wouldn't be going tension on him at this point. I'd just be getting him used to putting it on, taking it off, right? Just something else around your neck. Something that might be a little bit tight, just like your collar, and then it comes right off. Boom, just like that. You want to grab it, that's fine. Purple's coming over here. So since Purple's getting super active, we'll just put this on her again. Okay, we got the leash on her. They can also just drag it around, just like this. You don't have to necessarily be putting any tension on it. And you're just getting them used to having something tethered to them. Something that's following them, some kind of pressure on their neck. Of course, some puppies want to play with it. So these two are doing pretty good. They're actively searching out food. We got the one of the leashes on Purple here, dragging it around. That's fine. This is a little bit heavier, so if we were to put this on Pink here, we just tighten that down like that. A little bit heavier, same thing. They can drag it around, get used to having something on them again. Okay, Purple's trying to play with it now. But even if they're dragging it, eating food off the ground, you know, they're still getting used to something on their neck, a little bit of pressure on their neck. It's not really teaching them to move with the pressure, but at least they're getting used to something else on them, right? Good, so then if we wanted to see if she'll move with it, we just kind of grab it like so. And we pull just a little bit, see what the response is like. See how she's fighting it a little bit? There we go. Now she follows my hand. So by moving to my hand, that's what alleviates the pressure. So when she's done chewing, we can do it again. Yeah. Someone teaching y'all how to paw things? They're doing it. So right here, put a little bit of tension on her, light tension. Food over here to show her what to do. So we just slowly start luring her to where we want her to go. This one's getting all wrapped up here. So let's transition over to you, Purple. We'll have you do this for a quick second. Okay, we see you. Oh, you want to play tug of war is what you want to do. All right, so right here, we put light tension in. Okay, she follows it, boom. She gets the food, she alleviates the tension. So the more repetitions of this that we can do, the better at leash walking they will be. And there should be no problem with puppies if you're starting them right now, fully being good leash walkers when they go home in 2 weeks. You know, it doesn't take 2 weeks to get this behavior done.